The vortex might be popping off outside. Inside the lab, it's the hot and cold players you need to know in the fantasy hockey game.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
With the fantasy hockey postseason looming, it's time to get tapped in to your daily source for all things fantasy hockey. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, Monday edition. All of the hot and cold players from across the league you need to be monitoring. What is good, my friends? Welcome back inside the lab where we're showing love to our everydayers who make us their first listen every single day. Mr. Rodin, we are a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in North America. And on today's show, my friend, hot and cold, baby, a whole bunch of different players, good and bad. I'm excited for this conversation. I've got some sneaky good ads that you might be able to creep onto your team and some players you might want to be getting away from.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite players here and ones that I really enjoy having on my fantasy hockey team. They're going to be hard to get. You're going to have to, facilitate through a trade. And I want to talk about probably one of my favorite players in Andrei Svechnikov. And I talked about him time and time again throughout the season, especially in the offseason leading up to the fantasy draft.
Yes,
and I just think this is a very special player, a very special talent for the Carolina Hurricanes. And we know that he started very cold at the beginning of the season, was on the fourth line, third line. Brind'Amour was moving him around a bunch. He wasn't having any, he didn't have any confidence in his game. Offensively, he couldn't find the back of the net. He was missing from time to time as well. If I was talking about Svechnikov, if we were doing this episode last week, he would probably be on the cold, ice cold players in this topic that we're doing right now. But this week, he has been red hot. 6 goals, 8 points in his last 5 games. He shoots the puck a ton. He went on, like I said, last week, he went on a 4-game scoreless drought. Then he had a 4-assist night against the Dallas Stars. He has been heating up. He's top 50 in fantasy rankings, especially in our categorical format. You can see the stats here. 43 points in 52 games now at the season, 141 shots, 90 hits and 22 blocks. I mean, this is a guy that brings that physical capabilities on a nightly basis, especially for the banger league beauty that we typically talk about in these type of guys. And I just think he's an absolute stud. He's got dual eligibility, left wing, right wing position, 89 or 92% on Yahoo, 89% on Fantrax, I believe. I just think he gets it done, and he's living life right now. Like I said, he's top 50 in fantasy rankings. He's got 15 power play points on the season, which is tremendous for him as well. And that's coming a lot more recently. Again, in that top 6 forward group, whether he's with Sebastian on that top line, which he mostly is now. I just think the Carolina Hurricanes are a deadly force to be reckoned with. And Svechnikov is finally paying his dues off, because for anyone out there who was holding on to this player or, drafted this player at the beginning of the season.
Great point, Steele. Great point.
Just had to weather the storm at that point. This guy brings it on a nightly basis, but he wasn't offensively. He brings the hits. He brings the shots. Now he's doing it all. You weathered the storm. You're benefiting from all. You're benefiting from all of the value that he brings on a nightly basis. Now, I think Andrei Svechnikov is a tremendous player and just one of those guys that I've talked about time and time again about waiting for him to take that next step in his game.
#1, shout out to you for sticking to your guns all day and night and then some on a Saturday with this player. So yes, especially kudos to you for finally getting the fantasy value out of him, because something tells me he's on a couple of your rosters across the board here. But let's give some credit to this Carolina Hurricanes team for just a hot minute here. Not only is this team 3rd in the NHL in goals for, Steele, which has always kind of been that angle we've always chipped at with this team, right? Very responsible defensively. We've liked what they've been able to do goaltending-wise for the most part over the couple of years here that they've been making runs in the postseason. It's been the offense. So that offense is clicking right now. And that top line of Jarvis, Aho, and Svechnikov, that's the trio that I want to see stick and continue to drive the bus for this team. Speaking of which, in the cage, Bussy has been absolutely insane this year. This team, Steele, is for real. And I'm going to throw it out there now. If I had to pick a team to come out of the East, it is the Carolina Hurricanes as my cup pick 4 right now
100%.
as we stand. They are an excellent team, and the back end is balanced. So you're getting a ton of fantasy value here in the top 6, even in deeper formats down the lineup. However, I got a deep cut from a big ownership number to a lower one. Marco Kasper to start the year, Steele, was a player that I think was very kind of sexy in terms of maybe he's a fantasy sleeper headed into this season, and he started off real slow, and he only has 12 points in 52 games, but right now he's hot. 6 points in his last 5 games. Steele, take in this stat line from this kid's last game against Winnipeg on Saturday night. A goal, an assist, +2, 6 hits, and 3 shots on net. And cherry on top, he is only owned right now on Fantrax at 40%, 5 on Yahoo. How about he's playing on Dylan Larkin's wing with Lucas Raymond? That's all you need to hear. This player is hot right now. The deployment is there, and he is out there. Oh, how about the Detroit Red Wings, the team he is employed by? They're tops in the division. So go after this player if you're looking for a little bump across the board. Really good value in Marco Kasper.
Yeah, it's been a different season for him compared to last year. 19 goals, 18 assists, 34 penalty minutes last season. He's definitely struggled offensively, just trying to find his game, trying to find his footing in the lineup in the Detroit Red Wings organization. But peripherally, he's been very solid. 80 shots on net, still a little bit down, but he's still shooting the puck from for the most part. 120 hits. He's getting in on the physicality. He's blocking shots. He's putting his body on the line. So if he can find his way and remain in that top 6 forward group in Detroit, I think this is a great player to have on your radar as well. I know we talked about Emmett Finney from time to time.
Sure.
Both those guys have been in and out of the top 6 forward group, but Marco Kasper, like you said, red hot right now. Offensively playing on that top line with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. Again, Lucas Raymond having just an overlooked and incredible season himself.
Yes.
He has been tremendous in a key part for the Detroit Red Wings and having them be in the top in the Atlantic Division.
Big win for them over Winnipeg on Saturday. Marco Kasper, like I said, a big player in that victory. Have a look at some of these players because at this point in the season, like I said on yesterday's show, Steele, you are almost going to have to take some calculated risks. And if this player continues to get tagged along with that duo, that's all you really need to hear. I've got a couple of other players I want to touch on. And this one in Stuart Skinner, I just think he deserves a lot of credit. Marco Kasper is a player I wanted to bring up because I think you can go out there and add him. Stuart Skinner owned at 83% on Fantrax, 56 on Yahoo. Likely not going to happen. But just kudos due to this player who was an absolute punching bag for the Edmonton Oilers. And let's be honest, over his last 5 starts, Steele, he has looked really good, rocking a save percentage well north of 900. And how about the Pittsburgh Penguins lurking around? Still fighting for a playoff spot, 3 straight wins, 6-2-2 in their last 10. I don't think this is a spot where I say, because I know you were mentioning a player like Svechnikov. Yeah, you go out there and target him in a trade if you can. I'm not necessarily even going after Stuart Skinner because it could blow up in your face. But right now, if he is out there, it's the perfect time to ride a hot hand. He is definitely red hot and playing great hockey for this Pittsburgh Penguins club.
Yeah, he is. And it didn't start that way. You go back to the trade between the Penguins and Oilers. The first game he comes in was against his former team and gets lit up for 5 goals at a 773 save percentage, follows that up with an 850 and 862. But then after that, he goes on a monster run, only losing 1 game, and that was against the Boston Bruins in a 1-0 shutout for the Boston Bruins.
They're on fire.
Yeah, they're on fire as well, but Stuart Skinner has been red hot. Also, Arthur Shelovs. Think about it. Those are 2 goaltenders that, and not to say that Stuart Skinner was a throwaway or a throw off, but those are 2 goaltenders that were pretty much throwaways and now are actually one of the deadliest tandems in the NHL over the last 2-3 week stretch. Kyle Dubas is making some moves. Didn't expect it. We'll come back after the break. We got some more hot and cold players to talk about here on the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast.
Yes, sir. And don't forget about Big Time Bets 5-game Monday night betting board. That's why you want to be jumping into that Discord server with us. Let's talk picks. Let's make bets and check out Rocket Money. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Rocket Money. Be real. Managing your finances can be overwhelming. Subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep piling up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month. It's easy to feel like you're losing control. Who has time to keep track of every transaction? That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. We've been shocked what Rocket Money has been able to do for us, saving me on subscriptions I forgot about. It's already putting money back in my pocket. That's what Rocket Money does. CTA right now, Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster by going to rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That is rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com, you guessed it, /lockedon.
And thank you so much for making Locked On Fantasy Hockey your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button. Thank you so much for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, you got to go check out the new Everydayer Club. You get access to ad-free audio feed for Locked On Fantasy Hockey or any Locked On channel you want to tune into. It's compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every other major podcast out there. Plus, you get members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord servers, which includes a group chat just for listeners of this show. It's a great place to hang out during games, after games. If you have any questions for Flip and I, you can throw them in the Discord channel. You can also throw them on YouTube or direct message us on Twitter or Instagram. The Discord, the Locked On Everydayer Club, it's all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. So you can go to lockedonfantasyhockey.supercast or check the link in the show notes to learn more about the Everydayer Club here on Locked On. Flip, hot and cold players.
Yes, sir.
I think this one might be one of the hottest players, and it's all thanks to Bill Guerin and acquiring Quinn Hughes. I got to bring up and talk about Brock Faber because he has been on a special run himself. 11 points in 11 games over that stretch. He's been absolutely incredible for the Minnesota Wild since acquiring. It was almost like watching a Power Ranger just get ready and suiting up all together. It's morphin' time here, baby. Yeah. He literally, it's like he was sleeping and woke up. It's like, damn, we got Quinn Hughes. Like, I'm about to go off right now. And that's exactly what he has done. He's been a special talent. Obviously when you go back to last year, it was a little bit of a down season. Now that he's got his partner in crime, Quinn Hughes, on that first deep pairing, it's going to be special. And it's going to be special for Team USA at the Olympics as well. Brock Faber has been very solid this season, looking at the metrics. Just overall, again, playing some heavy minutes, 27, 29 minutes, 28 minutes, 27 minutes here. I mean, he's playing a ton of hockey right now, 32 points in 53 games, 116 shots this season as well. He's already on pace for a career high, which he had 124 last year, 136 the year prior to that. Look at the blocks, though, 111 blocks as well. So just comparing last year to this year, you can kind of see the rankings. He was ranked last year 342nd. He's ranked 112th this year. He's already got more goals this season, more assists this season. Power play points, he's one away from tying it from last year. Just all the metrics are up, and it's all thanks to Quinn Hughes. You can literally pinpoint the exact second that Brock Faber started to turn around his game, and that is December 14th when Quinn Hughes came into the lineup.
There you go. Big bounce back season for Brock Faber, who disappointed fantasy-wise in a very big way last season. I think you and I were just talking about off air some of the questionable moves that Bill Guerin has done building that Team USA roster. I think one of the good ones was including Brock Faber back there to play with his boy Quinn Hughes. However, couple more hot players just very quickly that I wanted to throw out there, and then let's get into the frosty polar vortex cold that is Darnell Nurse right after this deal. Anthony Cirelli with Braden Point out. Really good opportunity here playing with Kucherov and Brendan Hagel on that top line. So that has to be taken a look at. 60% on Fantrax, 38 on Yahoo is criminal. I picked this guy up a couple of days ago, Steele, and all he has done is score 2 goals and 4 assists in the last 3 games. He's hot. Minutes are up. He's playing with Nikita Kucherov. That's all I need to say there. And very quickly, last one, your boy, Matt Zuccarello, 55% on Fantrax, 27 on Yahoo. He has been on a special heater. And I think that's all I need to say about that, because this is a big time pro wild podcast and we've covered Zook a few times. Ice cold players, I already alluded to Darnell Nurse. Over to you. I think you wanted to talk about him as well, but talk about any player you'd like, pal.
Yeah, I'll get to my cold players here. And honestly, I think you could talk about anyone from the New Jersey Devils. Timo Meier's been cold.
Yes.
Jack Hughes hasn't scored since his return from injury. He's got
Myers
20.
has been bad.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, he's been bad. Jack Hughes hasn't scored a goal since returning from injury. I believe it's 20 plus games now without a goal for Jack Hughes. I'm specifically going to talk about Jesper Bratt because this guy has been absolutely horrible as well. You expect in a game against the Vancouver Canucks, he'd get on the score sheet at least once. No, he's left off the score sheet. He's not doing anything offensively. He's not doing anything defensively as well. He's a minus 13 on the season, which is a career low for him, or a second career low when you go back all the way to his rookie season of minus 16. The points are down. I mean, look at what he's done over the last 4 years. 73 points, 83, a career high 88 last year. He's got 37 points in 51 games. He only has 1 point in his last 5. Shooting percentage is down. Shots are down. Blocks are down. Hits are down. I mean, everything about this guy's game is down right now. And I mean, again, you could talk about the entire New Jersey Devil team. I mean, this was supposed to be a juggernaut team going into the season. They might not even make the playoffs this year. So Jesper Bratt has been ice cold recently. They really need to figure it out. Sheldon Keefe needs to start coaching, because I don't know what's going on right now. It just seems like at some point during a season, things just start to fall off and it's hard to get, a grasp of things. And that's just what it feels like right now in New Jersey. Goaltending's been bad. Dougie Hamilton's going to get shipped out soon. Luke Hughes is on the IR. It's not looking good for the New Jersey Devils, especially when you talk about some of their fantasy assets.
The fantasy side of things has definitely been frustrating, and the goaltending in terms of Jacob Markstrom, definitely. And I know Jake Allen's probably been overplayed. They've both not been good enough. I know Jake Allen had some good stretches, some fantasy stream there. However, they have won 3 games, and there is still only a 6-point gap on that second wild card spot. I can't disagree with you, however, when I'm taking a look at some other names that are owned in Mackenzie Weegar at 86% on Fantrax and 88% on Yahoo, and he has gone pointless in 10 games. I understand you still get the peripheral love from a player in Mackenzie Weegar. But when I look at the ownership and how many players or fantasy GMs out there, I should say, Steele, including yourself, were very high on this player coming into the year. And yes, he still has 120 hits, 109 block shots, 63 penalty minutes. So you're still getting that love, no doubt. However, when you put up 52 points, 47 points, and you're in the conversation of a lock kind of top 7 or 8 fantasy defenseman, definitely top 10 Steele. 16 points this year is not good enough. And he is ice cold right now, 9 or 10 straight games without a single point. He's minus 28. This is the first time in his career that he is going to finish with a negative number, and it could be north of 30. So he has been cold. He has not been good enough. And that Calgary Flames team, dead last in the NHL in offensive production, 4 goals. So that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I would say most leagues don't have a plus minus, but if you do, this is a tough player to have on your roster. Still outside of that, I still think he brings it as a fantasy asset, or has fantasy value, blocks, hits, shots on goal. Obviously, the offensive side of things are down. The plus minus is just atrocious. Don't even look at that number right now. But yeah, things are not great in Calgary. Yeah, I mean, they've gotten a lot of young players, but no one that really jumps off the page. I mean, you kind of look at Joel Farabee, you look at Morgan Frost, Igor Sharangovich, good, okay talents, but these are not guys that are gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna take this organization to them. They need to get someone that is viable right now, that it can just jump into the lineup and kind of take over. I mean, these young guys, while again they have talent, they're not going to really turn this organization around. And it sucks because Dustin Wolf is getting left out to dry on a nightly basis. Devin Cooley as well from time to time. You got to get as much as you can for guys like Blake Coleman and Nazem Kadri if you're trading them. But like you just said, those guys are ice cold right now. I have a defenseman I want to talk about that's ice cold, but we'll get to that after the break. Of course, big time bets on this episode as well, like we always do. This episode is also brought to you by Indeed. If you've ever hired someone who looks good on paper, but it wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed sponsored jobs. Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored job puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. Instead of struggling to get your job post seen, Indeed sponsored jobs helps your listing stand out and reach quality candidates faster. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Once again, thank you so much for making Locked On Fantasy Hockey your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. Drop any comments or questions you have on the YouTube channel. Also join the Everydayer Club for $5 a month, $50 a year. If you want to join and just have a great place to hang out with Flip and I and the rest of the hockey community, we're trying to grow that as much as possible. So thank you also for all of that. Real quickly, I'm gonna be really quick with this one. It's Drew Doughty of the LA Kings. I mean, this guy has been absolutely horrendous over the last. Yeah, I just dropped him in a few different leagues as well. He's been absolutely horrendous over the last 20 to 25 games. In that stretch, in the last 24 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, a -7. And since being named to Team Canada as well, so in the last 11 games, 0 points, -12. So defensively, he has not been strong. Offensively, he's not bringing anything. He's not really blocking shots. He's not really getting hits. He's not shooting the puck. He's kind of just out there right now. And I don't want to call him a pylon because he's been, again, over the last decade, he's been one of the best defensemen in the games, or better defensemen. He's been atrocious this year. I was trying to hold on for dear life and just kind of hold on, just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hasn't worked. Had to drop him. Had to go pick him up. I think Brant Clark, if he's available, you got to go take a great look at him. Who Flip has mentioned from time and time again on the waiver wire episodes. He's been very solid offensively this season. So I think, again, just a guy like Drew Doughty, who I believe is somewhere rostered between 30 to 35% on Yahoo. Also the same on Fantrax and ESPN. He's an automatic drop at this point. He's been ice cold. I don't think offensively he's going to get that part of his game back. I mean, not to say I'm nervous about him being on Team Canada, but it's just not a great look over the last 20 to 25 games.
I think it's one of those situations too at this point in his career where there's a lot of mileage on that body. He was a key cog in those LA Kings runs, the Cup teams. He has played a lot of hockey. I will say, when it comes to the big moment and being a gamer and the clutch situation that will be the Olympic stage, I think he'll be just fine. Fantasy-wise, I don't have nearly as much confidence. Very quickly before bets, Darnell Nurse, we know that $9.5 million contract was a serious overpay. Even with the cap going up, he has not been what that money indicates. And we know this, but how about now of impacting his fantasy value? Because you could always kind of count on those banger league angles that he brings to the table. No points in 9 straight games. And over that span, Steele, he has only 6 penalty minutes. So if you're not getting those Darnell Nurse nights where he snaps and has 8 or 9 penalty minutes, chips in with an assist or 2 here, or even better, a goal, you are not getting the value you need out of this player. He's owned at 72% on Fantrax still because you want him to do better. He plays on the Oilers. He should be chipping in offensively because he's done it before in his career. 9 straight games without a point, and over that same span, you're not even getting that banger league beauty in him. Man, that's a tough one to hang on to. So I just wanted to throw him on the ice cold list.
Yeah, he deserves to be on that. He deserves to be on it. Speaking of Edmonton Oilers, a 6-point night from Evan Bouchard against the Washington Capitals. a hat trick as well. He's went 3 goals in a row for the Edmonton Oilers. So I don't know.
Bad.
I mean, specifically me, I was very hard on this defenseman, and I have been very hard. But after a 6-point night, you might want to start wondering about maybe him missing on Team Canada going into the season with a guy like Drew Doughty being on there as well. I mean, both defensively not been great. However, let's get to big time bets. Those are great here for 4 or 5 game schedule to start off the week Monday. I'm going to rattle all 3 of my picks off, Flip, because it's been a little bit of a tough weekend for me, but I'm feeling these ones. I'm sticking with the same game parlay here. And it's the Utah Mammoth going into Tampa Bay. 2 of the hottest teams right now. If it's not the Buffalo Sabres, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Utah Mammoth. 8-1-1 over their last 10 games for both these teams, I believe. Specifically for the, for the Utah Mammoth, 8-1-1. Tampa Bay Lightning, they are 8-1-1 as well. So that's perfect here.
Yep.
It's been surprising that Tampa Bay actually hasn't been that great at home this season. Usually they're one of the better home teams. They've been more of a road juggernaut, 19-5-4 on the road this season, only 13-9-0. Let me get to the picks, though. Lightning on the money line. They are going to stop these red-hot Utah Mammoth. They are currently on a 5-game win streak. That's going to end tonight in Tampa. Lightning on the money line. I'm also going to take the over 6.5 in this matchup.
Absolutely.
In the 3 games that the Lightning and Mammoth have played, or the Utah Hockey Club, 24 goals in those 3 games. I'm loving the over 6.5. There's just too much talent on both sides. The power plays have been absolutely red hot for both teams as well. And Nikita Kucherov's going to get it done. So that's my 3rd pick. Kucherov, 2+ points on the night. He's going on a generational run right now. It was really just, for the longest time, it was Nathan McKinnon, and then Connor McDavid really went on his point streak, and now Nikita Kucherov is caught right back up to them. I believe he's got 78 points on the season now. He's still 10 points back of Nathan McKinnon and 13 points back of Connor McDavid, but oh my God, he has been so great for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 2+ point lock of the night.
I love that lock of the night. That's getting added into mine, because how about my lock of the night? Very nice segue, and I'll get right to it then. Connor McDavid, 2+ points. I don't know if you saw the highlights from Saturday night. My goodness me. That's a 5-piece for McDavid. I feel like he could have had like 7. And I know that we are going to have a very good conversation. We'll dig deep into the analytics on this one too. Might have to just do a whole episode on McKinnon versus McDavid. We'll talk about that more in detail. That one's coming. But I will say, lock of the night, 2+ points for McDavid. He was gone quiet there for a couple of games, Steele. No points in back-to-back losses. Not only was that a big win for Edmonton, OT, 3 assists, 2 goals. This is an explosion time for McJesus, and he was already hot before those 2 games. So 2+ points for Connor McDavid against the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks are playing great hockey, so I don't want to touch the money line here for either side. Head-to-head, it's 7-3-0 for the Oilers. Just a little food for thought. In his career, though, to wrap up the McDavid point, 31 games against the Ducks, 56 points for McJesus. So that's 2+ points. That's the lock. I like the over in this one as well, Steele. I could see this one being a run-and-gun type game, just like against Washington. 5-4, 6-5. Love the over, and I like the Flyers on the money line against the New York Islanders. The Islanders looked really bad on Saturday night. Patrick Waugh ripped them a new one. The Flyers have won 3 straight games against the Islanders, 2 already this season. I like the Flyers here at home. Good spot, good value as well.
I'm like the McJesus 2+ points. Going to have to throw Kucherov and McDavid into a parlay together with the player props here on Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Those are the big time bets. Those are the lock of the night. Thank you so much for making Locked On Fantasy Hockey your first listen every single day. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the follow button, so you get all of the latest episodes. You can also follow us on X at LO Fantasy LO_fantasy NHL. If you want to ask any questions, just throw any comments towards us. You can drop them on the YouTube channel. Once again, for those of you on video, we send you the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.